It's the I Can't Mom Today podcast with Heather, the new mom, and Vera, the seasoned mom. I Can't Mom Today.
Hey, this is Vera and Heather back again with another episode of I Can't Mom Today podcast. Hi, Vera.
Hello, Heather. How are you doing?
I mean, going insane is a good one. And I feel like
happened already.
Yeah, well, yeah, that ship is still right, as they say. I feel like right now in whatever season I'm in, because people like to use season a lot. I feel like it's just either going from one fire to the next and burning the candle at both ends.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So
There
how
you
are
go. Pretty good. It's kind of like, it's just chugging along,
Yeah.
just
If you hear the dog
another
whining.
day in paradise. Yeah. Well, and plus, of course, I've been waiting because Luke, his car, he just kind of trashed his car. So I said, look, clean up your car. I know it needs to get some work done. So keep it clean for a few weeks and then we'll get everything fixed on it.
Yeah.
So it'll be about 3 weeks and he's been doing well with that.
Good.
However, now in the meantime, then all of a sudden, guess what happens? My car starts to blow up.
Jeez Louise.
So now luckily I have an amazing mechanic, and that I've been going to since I was like 19, no joke. And so I called him up and I was like, how you said I really needed to bring my son's car in because it's like it really needs help. And I was planning on doing that next week. Well, my car comes first. The check engine light is on. I think one of the tires has a leak in it. And so, yeah. So it's just, like you think you're chugging along and then something, and it's not tragic, but at the same time, it's just kind of like,
an inconvenience that you're just like, add to all the other inconveniences.
Exactly. As my mother would say, it's just another thing.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I get it. Yeah.
What's up with all these things?
I know. I've got a meeting that I'm preparing for. On Tuesday, I leave. And so less than in a few days. And I'm going to be gone for 9 days. And then I start getting cold. So I'm like, oh my God, come on, man. Come on.
Dude.
I'm almost like, maybe it's COVID and I could stay home.
Oh, darn.
I know. I don't want to.
No, don't, materialize that.
Yes. But in any event, maybe. So yeah, I get it. My house is just a disaster.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that my house pretty much has been a disaster for, ever.
Yeah. No. All right. Well, we have lots of things to talk about today. Well, not lots of things, but one specific thing. It is about 4 tiny habits that change people's lives the most. And one thing that I actually have been trying to implement is saying no, because I just recently took an Enneagram type, and I'm a 2, and so I like to please people and be there for them all the time, which is pretty on par for me. Even though it frustrates me, and I'm like blah, 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 in the background, I'm like, yeah, sure, I can do that. Okay. But I've been really trying to say no a lot more and saying I just can't do that. Sorry.
No, exactly. And saying no, I think too, I think that we're socialized, women especially, we're socialized to be amenable and to, be people pleasers. And so saying no, obviously you're not pleasing the person who's asking you for whatever it is.
Yes.
So you tend to say, yeah, sure, I can do that. Meanwhile, you're like,
Yeah.
So that was one of the top of the top 4 things. When I saw that, I was like, oh yes, I absolutely have problems saying no also. And as I've gotten older, I've learned that sometimes you have to, because you're not also to, as my dad would say, don't do him any favors. Sometimes if you say yes and you don't deliver, you end up you disappoint yourself because you feel
Yeah.
bad because you didn't come through for the whatever it was.
Mhm.
And B, the other person's disappointed, so you're better off. If that's the way I've kind of put it in my mind, is like,
Yeah.
if I'm not going to be able to really achieve this the way that it needs to be done, whatever it
Mhm.
is, I'm actually being kinder by saying no,
Yeah.
because I'm not doing myself or the other person any favors by saying yes and then not being able to come through.
Totally.
So, not to mention driving yourself bananas.
I know, man. Let me tell you. Well, I do that to myself. I overcommit all the time. And I usually deliver. 90%
Yeah,
of the time I deliver, but I stress out over it. I lose part of my life over it.
right. At what cost? Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, to help somebody
exactly.
else.
Yeah.
Yep. Agreed.
So yeah, so then the second one was practicing gratitude.
Hmm.
Are you grateful?
I struggle. I struggle with this. I'm very grateful, right? I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for a house. I'm grateful for an income. I'm grateful for a lot of things, but I really it's one of those things that I go, I tell Brad, I'm like, I'm so thankful that you're just thoughtful. And then the
Mhm.
next thing I know, he does something that annoys me. I'm like, "Bah." So
There that goes.
I know I really do. I need to just keep that in perspective. Like I say this
Well,
a lot when Baker frustrates me. I love him. I chose him. I love him. I chose him. I love him.
yeah,
When he does
I
something
love him.
like
It doesn't.
you're just like, oh my gosh,
Yeah,
what is that?
yeah.
I do that a lot of times. I'm like, I love him. I chose him. I love him. I chose him.
The mommy mantra. I love him. I
Yeah.
chose him. I love him. I chose him. That's
Yes.
funny. Well, the one of the things that's where I found this list that they suggest doing for gratitude is
Mhm.
to keep a gratitude journal.
Yeah.
So if you start to feel down and like, my life sucks, there are some prompts that they offer if you wanted to keep a journal, or even just some things to keep in your mind if you're
Mhm.
struggling with feeling grateful, was to ask yourself, like, what's one thing that went better than expected recently?
Mhm.
Or what's one goal that I've accomplished and how has it made my life different?
Mhm.
Or what is one thing that I'm thankful for today?
Yeah.
And it could
Okay.
be something simple, like it's not raining. The weather's nice.
Don't even bring up the weather.
Oh
Mm-mm.
no,
Too harsh.
sorry. It's
Because we're
gorgeous
having
and
a
sunny.
very brutal winter, like the most brutal one. And in relation, right? People in Minnesota are probably like, that's nothing.
Yeah,
But
right.
in Colorado, we don't have snow that sticks around. Or in Denver, we don't have snow that sticks around. It goes away pretty quickly. But we've been having snow. Like we've had snow on the ground for over a month,
Oh wow.
which is very uncommon. And I'm just like, I'm done with you now. Please go away.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to get into like the teens next week. I'm just like, oh my God.
Okay, so
And
you can
teens
be
and negatives.
grateful that you have heat.
Yes, 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 yes.
See?
But yes, so like it's hard because when you walk outside, you're like, I just don't want the wind to blow anymore and the cold. Because
That's why
usually
I love New
30 here
York.
is fine because the sun's shining. It's the wind's not blowing. You can be outside in this short sleeve shirt most winter days. Nights are different, but days you can at least be outside. But right now, no, not even that.
Oh man. Okay. Well,
Too.
be grateful
I
you
am
have.
grateful. As I sit here with my heated blanket on my lap, I am grateful.
There you go. Be grateful for your heated blanket.
Oh my God, let me tell you, next level. I'm so sad Costco didn't carry them again this year because I would have bought another one. So
We can find something to be grateful for. Okay, so then
yeah,
the third thing is
yeah,
somatic exercise.
and this is something that's close to me because I know it's all about me.
Yeah.
Because I study massage therapy and do Reiki but yoga is one thing I'm like, oh
Yeah, well, it doesn't have to be. Somatic basically means that it's a physical activity that you do gently
yeah,
with a focus on your internal experience. So even just like, so you don't have to become a yogi or anything like that. But it says there are a couple of like poses, like cat cow pose, where you're on your hands and knees, and then you arch your back like a cat,
yeah,
and then cow is where you then flex your back the other way. to just do that for a few minutes back and forth, or even child's pose, which is, where you kneel and then, lean back. There's another term for it, not just child's pose. I think it's something else. I forgot what the name of it is, but where you're on your knees and you put your hands out in front of you and just sit back on your heels.
I think it's child's pose. I've never heard of anything else.
I've heard it. There is another
you're
term
wrong.
for it. I can't remember.
I'm just kidding.
So even just doing that, just, if you're feeling stressed out and just getting it down on the floor and just kind of doing one of those two things, just kind of like sitting for a minute and breathing. People say it can, well, I know, I do know from personal experience, sometimes doing stuff like that, or just sometimes I'll even like catch myself not breathing.
Oh, all the time. Or like just holding something like,
I realize I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh my gosh, I haven't taken a deep breath. I don't know. So even just if you're sitting at your desk or sitting somewhere and just kind of take a few deep breaths and just kind of, and enjoy it, like kind of drink in the air.
I have to start like, cause so I have not been having the best of posture lately in the last, probably a year or more. I don't know. Geez. And so I just like compress down. So and even in the car, like instead of sitting straight up, I'm pushing my muscles out. So it almost makes me more blobby. So I've been trying to really be aware of when I'm doing that. So I can, pull in my muscles to go straight, because it's just so much easier. It uses less effort to be like, ugh.
Yeah. Well, and that too, I think like, it's just like taking a minute to realize, wait a minute, I'm slumping over. I'm not breathing.
Yep.
So again, too, even just getting up and getting on the floor and doing that cat cow or doing the child's pose for a minute and just breathing and taking a minute to just kind of be aware of your body and be grateful.
Some people
for
need
it.
different things. Like sometimes like that taking a breath out isn't what you need. Like some people need grounding. And so like jumping up and down is something that maybe you need to do, or running in place or something, just taking that time out, whether it's an active timeout or relaxing timeout.
Yeah. Just something to kind of be aware of what you're doing to your body, which leads us to the fourth one, this cutting toxic habits.
Yes.
So obviously there are things like drinking or smoking cigarettes or whatever, but even just one of the examples they give in this is like a phone detox. So turning off your phone for at least an hour a day, just to be away from your phone and have a minute to, say when you're having dinner with your family or your kids, just turn off your phone.
But make sure you don't turn off your phone before your alarm goes off.
Oh, yeah.
Use your phone for your alarm.
I've done that. Yeah. Or turn the ringer off and forget. And then I don't hear the ringer. Yeah. So, but, just something that's really not great for you. Just maybe cutting back on it, or, like I said, it doesn't necessarily have to be one of the obvious things like, addictive things like drinking or smoking or whatever. It could be like turning off your phone or like maybe watching less TV. That could be on my list. Actually, I watch tons of TV. It's terrible.
Okay.
So it's just something like that. That's not necessarily good for you. Maybe just telling yourself, you know what, I can go for an hour or two without whatever it is. And you might find that it makes you feel better.
Yeah.
In general.
Yeah.
Maybe turn off. This is what Vera's going to do. Turn off the TV for an hour.
Ooh, wow.
do some cat cow and child's pose and maybe read. I love to read. I just like
I don't.
No.
I get tired. I like audiobooks are my jam, but I just get so tired when I read a book that I'm like, I'll never get through a book.
Yeah, that can be a problem, which probably means you're not sleeping enough.
Oh, I know I'm not.
Yeah.
I've been going to bed before 10 o'clock every night this week.
Oh, good.
Yes, but I've gotten in the bad habit of like, I'm not really that tired, or I don't feel that tired when I go to bed. And so I'll put my headphone in and watch something on my TV or my phone, but it's really like just noise to go to sleep to, because I watch like 3 minutes of it and I'm like, gone. I'm out.
Oh, see, I do that too, though. Like for some
Yeah.
reason, because then it's like it's something else for me to focus on rather than just lying there and thinking.
Yeah.
So I know, which again, they say is not really good for you to go to sleep with the TV on, but screw it.
Yeah.
I'm going to sleep. So there you go. This is the four, because the article I found this in, they asked 300,000 people, like, what's something that you did that you feel like changed your life, and those were the top four out of those 300,000 people. So that's why we focused on those things, because
I feel like winning the lottery might be one of them too.
Winning the
should be on there.
We'll try and manifest that for you.
Yeah. Please do. Please do.
And then you can share it with me.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. I mean, obviously, my ride or dies. I will definitely. The new people crawling out of the woodwork now.
Well, of course. Yeah. Excuse
I don't
me,
care if we
not on
share
my
blood
ride
or
or die
not.
list.
Yeah, right. All right. Until next time.
Yay. Bye-bye.
Bye.